Test 1 2. Alright, good. Well, for me it's afternoon, but good morning, afternoon, evening from wherever you are. Gotta make sure my truck is coming out correctly. This is A-Plant94. Hey, Cow Killer, what's up? Just beginning a stream for the afternoon. Figured I'd go on for a little while. I am taking a job from, you're in class, you should be paying attention to the teacher, unless if it's, oh, it's lunchtime for you, so I guess you wouldn't need to worry about paying attention to the teacher. Yeah, I figured I'd live stream just for a bit, just to travel. I'm doing some a journey from Liverpool, I think it is, to Austria, and I'm running this red light because I feel like it. Yeah, I figured I'd give this the old streaming try. I haven't gone on since the second was my last one, so it's been a while. I hope you're all doing well, as I almost forget to take this turn. Okay, move. See, this car here needs to move, but he's not moving. Okay, now he's moving. See, like, these people need to learn how to drive, as I say that. This is incredibly dark, but unfortunately I can't change time. I mean, I probably could. How much time do I actually have to do this job? I've got 50 hours to do this job, and I'll be there in 23. Yeah, well, we're also taking a ferry as well, so that will probably kill a lot of time. So yeah, I'm hoping that everyone's New Year's has gone well so far. Mine's been pretty blah. Just wanted to say hi. Yeah, I noticed you dropped a video. I need to watch the whole thing. See you later. I need to watch the whole thing, but I watched like the first, I think, 2 minutes of it, and then I had to go. So, but yeah, I'll definitely put it on my full watch list. So yeah, I decided to do some streaming today, just because. So yeah, I had physiotherapy yesterday, and that actually went pretty okay. I mean, I'm still exhausted by the end of it, because, like, it's physiotherapy. But the physiotherapy doctor is very happy with the results that I'm getting so far in terms of, like, getting my mobility back and, like, the strength that I'm getting back in my legs. But there's still quite a bit of work to do. I don't fully feel like I'm back to normal yet, but it's progressing well. And on the plus side, I'm not feeling a lot of back pain anymore. It's mostly just my legs, so that's a very good sign. I'm still feeling a bit achy though, and I'm getting problems with my left leg, but I think now that the holidays are over, I can get back into regular physiotherapy, and I think it'll go pretty well. So yeah, 2019's off to a pretty interesting start. Apparently there's some guy in my town, I don't know if he's like, I don't think he's shooting anything, but like he has like a rifle, and it's, excuse me, apparently it's freaking people out. Because like in Canada we don't have as big of a gun culture as America does, so like in certain states it's perfectly normal for people to carry guns and like to have like conceal and carry or whatever laws that you guys have in whatever states. But in Canada we don't really have a lot of that. We have like hunting rifles and like, you know, stuff for like wilderness and nature and stuff like that, and that's normal. But like most people don't carry guns, especially hunting rifles, in the streets. So apparently the hospital and a bunch of schools are on lockdown from like a major section of the city, and everyone's kind of freaking out because they don't know exactly what's going on. Like this is this sad thing about like, oh, hello Lance. This is really interesting about like not necessarily like, I guess you could group this into like terrorist attacks and like shootings and stuff, where the information that comes in can be very false, like at the very moment it comes in. So I'll give you an example. I was in Ottawa back in, oh gosh, I want to say I can't remember if it was 2014, 2015, something along those lines. There was a shooter in Ottawa, and he shot a soldier that was on duty at the National War Memorial. So what happens is that, I think it's all year round, we have two officers, like two actual like army officers guarding the National War Memorial at all times. It's essentially like a standing by the grave of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier type thing. And apparently this guy had shot him, one of the soldiers, and I think it might have injured the other. And then he made a run for Parliament Hill, which is not even a block away from the National War Memorial. Like, it's all very central in Ottawa. And apparently this guy made it into the building and started shooting, you know, within Parliament. And thankfully no one in Parliament, I think none of the MPs got hurt. There might have been like a security personnel that might have died or got hurt. And eventually this guy was shot down by what we call the Sergeant at Arms, which is essentially a ceremonial role to protect Parliament. But then his role became real when he actually had to protect Parliament from a shooter. So it kind of breathed new meaning into the role, because it is largely ceremonial. Like, it's designed to be like a ceremonial traditional role, but like, he shot him down. But the thing is, I was in university at this time, so I was actually in class when this happened at the University of Ottawa, which is I want to say like a 10 to 15 minute walk to Parliament, depending on what route you take. Like, it's very close. So the university was on lockdown, and we only found this out through like a student saying we're supposed to be on lockdown. Like, I had no idea. And the stupid thing was that some students just left the classroom without like any regard to this like shooting guy. And we had conflicting reports coming in from Twitter saying, oh, he's at the mall and he's shooting people down, or like, you know, he went to the Byward Market and he started shooting people down. Like, there was a bunch of conflicting information. And so what I'm doing is I'm sitting in class, and like, people are like leaving sporadically, and other people are taking it more seriously, like I am, because like, if he's shooting a National War Memorial, where's the next logical target? It's going to be a bunch of group of people. So that's a mall, that's a school, university, because there's like thousands of students on campus, and Parliament. So those are the three possible targets that he could go to next. So we don't know. At the time, we didn't know what he was doing, so we were just getting, you know, conflicting information. And so that's a very scary thought, because you don't know what's really happening. You're sort of just waiting for the information to come in, but that information could be wrong, because we were told that he'd gotten to the shopping center nearby Parliament, but he never went that direction. So it was conflicting reports. It was, you know, mass panic, and just, it was a truly scary time, because I genuinely thought that he would run up to the university, because it's just right there. And so when we later found out that we had all the facts, and, you know, that became official, I then realized that, you know, you have to take any incoming information with a grain of salt. So this guy that's waving around a rifle in my city you know, there's reports of him like going in certain areas, and like, you know, there's possible shootings, and you know, I don't know anything. I haven't even looked at the news in my local area this morning anyway, so it's a grand mystery to me. And I mean, like, the other funny thing is, like, what are the odds of it actually being a... Sorry, I'm just adjusting my mic here, because I still need to get a proper headset, but I'm paranoid about this whole microphone situation. Like, what are the odds that there'd be a terrorist attack in my city? Because, like, we're... I hate to say we're very insignificant compared to, like, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. We have, like, a population of 50,000 people. Yeah, terrorists tend to strike more public targets. I imagine this guy must be just, like, some random person with a gun, or... I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm hoping that everything's okay, because like, they locked down the schools and the hospitals, so I'm hoping that like this guy isn't an actual terrorist attack, because if it is, then it's going to be very concerning. I just realized that I did not set the map for this journey. I was gonna take the ferry from Grimsby down to Rotterdam and just cut that out, but I did not set the map. Darnski. Well, what I can do is I can at least take the ferry from Dover. That'd be a lot faster. Why is it wanting me to go all the way over there? Hold on. See, these are things that you should set up before you go on a journey. Oh, I can just do that. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, I wanted to go... Oh, well, I guess we're taking a longer drive. Which means more content for you guys, but that also means less time travel for me, so... Oh, well, but I mean, it's already 1 in the morning in-game time, so... Although I need to switch lanes, so I'm just gonna cut across these people. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on. I imagine that it'll be properly reported in the news tomorrow, or even today, if this guy's caught. But I know nothing about this guy at all. Like, I don't know... Oh, jeez. I don't know where he's from. I don't know anything about him. But I've just heard some, not conflicting reports, but I've heard, like, rumored reports. So I imagine that once more information comes in, then, you know, we'll be able to figure out exactly what's going on. But in the meantime, I'm just taking it with a grain of salt. And I mean, it's like not like I'm going out of the house and I'm not gonna like answer the door for anyone, like, because my mom's gone out for a meeting that she has to go to, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie where I'm saying I'm gonna be paranoid if, you know, something does happen, but you know, she's a formidable woman, so I trust her ability to, you know, stay smart and stay safe and stuff like that. And I mean, like, I don't plan on answering the door for anyone because I don't want to go all the way downstairs to answer the door anyway. My mother has a key, so that's not a worry, and we don't expect any packages to be delivered today, so, you know, if they want to knock, I'm not going to answer the door because I can't be bothered to go all down those stairs. I live in a multi-level townhouse, so there's, like, plenty of stairs, and I have no need to answer the door, so I'm perfectly safe. I hope that you have all been having wonderful Tuesdays. We're back in the regular week again. There's no holiday any upcoming holidays, I think, that I know of. I think the only one is, I think there's a president's birthday for like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or something in like late January, or is that February? I don't remember. But I don't know if that's a holiday or not. Because I know in Canada we actually celebrate the Queen's birthday twice. We celebrate her like actual birthday, which is April, like late April, like I want to say in the 20s, like 24th, I think, possibly. I could be wrong. And then we celebrate Victoria Day, which is the Queen's birthday celebrated nationally, which is May 21st, and that's for any queen. Hello, great Canadian guy. I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful day out east. Yeah, I was just talking about how there's a potential shooter in my city, but I mean, our city is like 50,000 people, so I don't think it's a terrorist attack. And we don't have a lot of information coming in, but apparently hospitals and schools are on lockdown, so I'm hoping that it gets resolved quickly and that there's no fatalities. It's kind of surprising because where I live, it's very much a small it is a city by definition, but it is quite small. We're only like 50,000 people, and we're very insignificant. Like the thing we're most famous for is being the Seaway City, but that was like back in the 50s when it opened. And we were known for like manufacturing, and like we had a paper mill, we had like manufacturing industries in our city, but those closed by the turn of the century. So basically what we're known for now is being a shipping distribution center town, because we're an hour from Ottawa, an hour from Montreal, about 45 minutes if you drove west towards Toronto, you'd be to the next nearest major like city, and then we're literally like 2 minutes to the States. Like we have a bridge that goes directly to upstate New York, so we're like very, very close to the United States. So it's very easy for people who want to ship stuff to the States, which bring stuff from, like, let's say Ottawa down to where I live, and then go through the processing centers in our business industrial park area, and then get transferred over to upstate New York or down to Toronto, which takes about, let's say, 6 or 7 hours to drive, give or take, depending on the speed and depending on the route that you take. And then from there it gets distributed to like, you know, Montreal or Quebec City, or if you want to take things down to Vermont, you probably have to go through Montreal for that. But yeah, we're not known for anything around here anymore. We used to be, but where I live, it's very dull. I'm not gonna lie. There's some people that want to be idealistic about the city that I live in and say, oh, it's gonna be great, we have so many opportunities. I mean, yes and no. There are some things that we do have. Like, we have a nice restaurant scene, and we have like an interesting community-based community basis. But if you're like 16, 17, 18, there's nothing to do here. I mean, there's like a few bowling alleys and like I wouldn't even call them malls. They're like strip malls or anything. There's no like indoor shopping center except for one, but like half the stores are either closed or just kind of like useless, I want to say. And then like our downtown core is pretty boring, to be honest. I mean, the only exception is that we're building an art center, so I'm hoping that that'll help with like the problems of what to do. You know, they'll have like a theater section and like probably art classes and all that stuff, and I think that's a good idea. We also have a public library that used to be a post office, and they actually converted it quite well, to be honest. Like, the outside building's like gorgeous, but the inside is actually well done too. And we do genealogical research, and we do all sorts of other different research things. And actually, the basement used to be a fallout shelter during the Cold War. And not only that, but it actually used to be the Plan B fallout shelter for the Prime Minister. So if the fallout shelter in Ottawa was compromised, then the Plan B would actually be to come to the town where I live, and their fallout shelter had been in the basement of the old post office. And the supplies are actually still down there, probably covered in cobwebs and dust, but they're still good. Like the ration packs and the radiation suits and all that stuff are still down there. And I'm not sure if they have any plans to turn it into a museum or not. I don't think so. Although they probably should, to be honest, because they turned the underground bunker for Ottawa into a museum. I mean, you can go there now and walk freely throughout the most of it. But I imagine that the one where I live is probably just a footnote in the pages of history. But it is quite fascinating, just the fact that they actually had a Plan B, and that it's in the city where I live, which I thought was particularly fascinating. And I don't know if they probably had a Plan C somewhere else, but they needed a place that was outside of Ottawa, because like if there was a nuclear attack against Canada, the obvious target would be Ottawa, because that would be our capital, and then a lesser target would probably be like Montreal, Toronto. But they wouldn't target the city where I'm living in, because we are insignificant, which I guess is a good thing. And I mean, like, I don't know what else there is in our town, to be honest. There's like there's a Starbucks that opened up like a few years ago, and it was funny because no one thought we would ever have a Starbucks, but then we ended up getting one, and it's been super popular ever since it opened. We probably have like a dozen Tim Hortons in town. I can't even bother to count how many Tim Hortons we have. It's so Canadian. We have a ton of dollar stores. My God, we have like I'm trying to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to probably say about half a dozen dollar stores in town. And this is for a town of 50,000 people. So there's a $1 store per 7,500 to 10,000 people. Which I mean I think is quite a lot. Plus there's Walmart. We have one of the larger Walmarts. I think it's a Walmart. I don't know if it's Walmart Supercenter or just a regular Walmart that's just really large. Let's see, what else do we have that I can think of. In terms of like pointing any interesting points out of the city, I don't think we have very much. I mean, really, just I don't know. So yeah, that's my city in a nutshell. Oh, come on, just move. This is a highway. I hate slow drivers in this game. It annoys me to no end. Yeah, no worries. Oh my God, just it's one of the frustrations about this game is that sometimes the traffic really is that slow. But the good news is we are coming up to almost 4 a.m. in game time, so that means that by the time we cross France, hey Angela, how you doing? By the time we cross into France, it should be more daylight, so I'm hoping that the ferry should take probably an hour or two to cross. I don't actually know how long it takes for this ferry to cross, but I imagine that it won't take that long. I discovered a recruitment agency, hooray! So yeah, that's my boring town in a nutshell. I did play. It's funny because I'm still waiting on my tablet to process, not even ship. It hasn't even shipped yet. It's still processing. So my credit card hasn't even been charged yet, and my theory is that they actually need to make more tablets in order to reach the demand, because I checked back on their website and I think they sold out on both the black and the gray models. But I'm thinking to myself, because I'm buying more than just I bought more than just the tablet. Like, I'm buying accessories for it, but I'm also buying myself a new pair of headphones. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why do I need to wait for my tablet to come in to get headphones? Because like I can use that with my stuff now. So I've already placed the order for my new headphones, which are like the giant ear muff style headphones. I don't know what you people call them, but they're a lot larger, and the base will be a lot heavier than the ones I have now, because I have earbuds which are portable, that are Bluetooth, I mean. And I also bought for myself some plastic sheets that'll hold 2x2 cardboard holders for coins, because I don't know if you guys know, but I am a coin collector, and I have plenty of these cardboard 2x2s that hold my collection, or at least most of my collection. I still need to staple a few of them together, but I have them in a box right now, and I like to put them organize them into sheets, especially for like identification purposes and just to keep them organized and stuff, rather than keeping them loose in a box. So I went ahead and ordered those as well, because that was an add-on item that needed to like get a certain dollar amount in order for it to actually be shipped. So I just went ahead and ordered those, and I'm actually getting a free pair of earbuds because I bought the headphones. It was an offer where basically I could get these $20 pair of headphones for free if I ordered the headset that I wanted. So I'm like, hey, I'm getting something free, why not? And they're normally $20, so I get a free pair of $20 headphones. And I wanted to get them anyway, just so like I can have a better pair of headphones than the ones I'm wearing now to like stream. And it comes with a microphone on it, I think, so I should have less paranoia when it comes to streaming, because right now the earbud line that has my microphone, the earbud came off, so I can't like hold it up to my face. Like I actually have to either hold it with my hand, or I have to use the restraining sliding clip that sort of holds it together, but then it's sort of like hidden away within my beard, so I can't really tell where it is. And so like I want to make sure that, you know, my audio quality is not terrible. And yeah, and especially since these were supposed to be really good earphones, like I paid I want to say like 20 or 30 bucks for these, and they're normally good quality. Like I trust this brand a lot, but just the earbud just came off, and I had these for less than 6 months. Like I bought them in, I think, June, and then they were starting to fall apart by like October, November. So I actually I wasn't expecting a refund, because I'm just like, you know, let bygones be bygones, and I'm not gonna bother wanting to fight it, because like I know some companies can be very tricky when it comes to refunds and stuff, especially if it's like warranties and stuff. Like I don't even know if this earphone they probably do have a warranty, I just didn't realize it. So I left a comment on the Amazon page to tell people, you know, these are decent headphones, just, you know, if they fall apart, don't be surprised. And I can't remember if it was like immediately or like a day later, I got a message from the actual company offering me either a refund or a free pair of Bluetooth headphones or earbuds. And it was funny, I actually had purchased the earbuds already, and they were identical. I looked up to what they were offering, and it was identical. The pair was identical to what they were offering. So I already told them, like, hey, thanks for coming back to me. I wasn't expecting it, but I really appreciate it. I already bought the headphones. Would you just be willing to refund the purchase price of the earphones? And they said, yeah, not a problem. So I actually got a refund on the earphones, or on the earbuds that I bought, that I'm using. Well, I'm not using them now, but I have them for my phone. See, the problem is I would use the new wireless earbuds for my streams, but the problem is the Bluetooth isn't connecting the microphone properly to the computer. It does it like very occasionally, and I don't know if it's probably just something wrong with my computer. Like it connects the audio fine, so I can listen to music on my laptop and YouTube videos, but when I try to use the voice function on my earbuds, it just doesn't connect. So I'm forced to use the manual earbuds that plugs into the 3.5mm audio jack, because it automatically connects to the earphones. Oh, good evening for you, little Dave. Probably, I think it is evening in the UK, or close to it. It's afternoon for myself and for probably a few others, but I hope you're doing well. Just talking about my earphone troubles. So yeah, I'm hoping that if I can, I'll try to use my big earphones to use for streaming, because it does have a built-in microphone, but I don't know what the quality is going to be like. It's not one of those stick-out microphones. It's just like a this is one of those like built-in like general microphones. But the free earbuds that I'm getting, because I purchased the headphones, I think does come with a microphone attached, so that hopefully that can replace what I'm using now, and I can just keep these as like a emergency earbud, because I still have the, oh god, I don't even know if it's well, I have one earbud that works, but I mean, I find that it doesn't stick to but it doesn't stay in my ears that well. So I mean, you know, it's good for you know, casual listening, and I mean, like, it actually does have a pretty decent sound, but because I'm only using one earbud, you know, it's not a complete experience. So I'm hoping that these new earphones will come in, and it's supposed to be delivered by Thursday, but I'll give them till Friday, because like I placed the order I think 2 or 3 hours ago, and I don't know what their delivery policy is going to be like. So I'm hoping that by the end of the week I'll get them, and I'll be able to enjoy them, and then I'll wait to place the order for my case, keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, and I will probably get a screen protector. I'm not sure. The only problem is that the screen protectors are like 15 bucks, and it's just like, ugh. Oh yes, thank you, Great Canadian Guy, for that. It's funny. I always forget to ask people to like the stream because, like, I don't know, it's just something that never really occurs to me because I'm not a regular YouTuber. So it's like, oh yeah, I actually have to remember to do that. So thank you for that. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of shopping for myself. Like, considering I didn't really celebrate Christmas this year, and like, I got really nice Christmas gifts. Don't get me wrong. I got a few nice pieces, but not the stuff that I was hoping for, I guess would be the right word. I mean, like, I have the money to get myself the tablet and the accessories, so I went for it. And I mean, like, I'm one of those people that likes to do research and, like, plans things out. Like, when I did my Europe trip, I took at least 6 months to plan that trip out, and that's everything from... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, yay, I'm not flat. That's good. You get to see me crash. Where am I? I don't even know where I am. Why is it telling me to go back on myself? Oh, because it thinks I'm turned around, that's why. Am I actually? Hold on. Okay, I'm not that bad. Let me straighten myself out. There we go. Yeah, or trust me to be behind any wheel of any virtual vehicle, because it just will not end up well. Let me just confirm that I'm actually going in the right direction. Actually, again, I forgot to reset my map, and I like to visit cities as I go along. So let's just double check. I've been to Luxembourg, been to Metz, been to Strasbourg. I have not been to Stuttgart. Stuttgart. Let's go there. No, there. There we go. I'll visit Stuttgart. Ooh, I'll visit Munich. Munich. There we go. And I'll end in Salzburg, Austria, and I'll stop by there. Okay, now we're good. See, I always forget to do that. By the way, though. Oh, BRB. Oh, no problem. I thought you said by the way. It's like, what? Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I always forget to set up the route at like the beginning. What's my damage like anyway? I'm just curious. Oh, I'm losing money today. Not much probably, and I don't really need the money. Well, I say I don't need the money, but repair costs are quite high. If I get engine malfunctions, then I will go to the nearest city and just do repairs. But yeah, I'm very pleased with Amazon. I actually have Amazon Prime, and as a student, I actually get it for half off. So normally, Amazon Prime, I think, is I can't remember what price it is. I think it's like 79 or 80 bucks Canadian. And as a student, I get it for half off. So I get charged, I think, $39 for a whole year. So that works out to less than $3 a month. And considering the amount of times that I order stuff off of Amazon, like the shipping prices that I would save, the amount of shipping that I would save is quite immense. So I find it worth it. And plus you get a bunch of like other stuff. So you get like Twitch Prime, which I don't really use, even though I probably should use it because it helps support people. And there's the engine malfunction I was hoping I was not gonna get. Okay. Where's the nearest? I already passed Lille. I don't want to go back. Okay, I'll make a stop at Luxembourg. Even though that is very far away, I will still go there. There we go. Just adding a bit of extra time. And I can turn off the light because it's now 8 a.m. so people can actually see where I'm going. But yeah, and there's also Amazon Music, which I don't really use. Oh, I just wanted pets. Aw, puppies are cute. I haven't had a dog in years, but I can definitely appreciate the the pettings that a dog deserves. I actually use Amazon Photos, funny enough, because when I went to Europe, I took like thousands of photos, and I wanted somewhere to store them as a backup, so I stored them. I had an SD card that could hold all the photos, but I wanted a digital backup just in case if the card got corrupted. So that's been very useful because you get unlimited photo storage with Amazon Photos if you have Amazon Prime. So I find that very useful. There's also Amazon Video, which I don't use. I don't even really know what shows are on there. I probably should double check on that. What else do I get? There's like Prime Days or something where they have like sales on stuff for Prime members. I don't really take advantage of that because there's nothing I really want. It's mostly just like makeup or appliances or jewelry, and I'm just like, I'm not into that, so that's meh. We are now crossing into Belgium, Belgique. Beautiful country that I've never been to, although it is on my list. I don't know much about Belgium, but I know that it contains a lot of the headquarters for the European Union. I'd love to go tour that. Yeah, there's probably a whole other slew of Amazon Prime things that I'm missing out on, but I use it for the shipping. Because when I'm in university, I actually like to buy dry goods that are in large boxes on Amazon, so I don't have to in Brussels. Yep. I like to buy certain groceries on Amazon because it is actually the same price or slightly cheaper. So I like to buy breakfast cereal on Amazon because it's actually the same price as in the grocery stores. And with Prime you get free shipping, so I don't have to lug a huge jumbo box of cereal along with my other groceries, so it saves on me having to carry stuff. Granola bars are usually good to get on Amazon because they're about the same price. The only other thing I've ever gotten is actually I don't even think I've even gotten pasta, because you can probably get pasta for like $1 at the grocery store and they're not that large. But yeah, it's normally just cereals and breakfast bars, like granola bars, that I get on Amazon because it's the same price, free shipping, and I don't have to lug it from a grocery store, because the nearest grocery store from my residence in Montreal, when I'm in Montreal, is about 1 kilometer one way, so it's 2 kilometers. Especially during the wintertime, it can be quite a trek, especially if you're carrying a handful of groceries. And I mean, there are people that use carts and stuff, but it's I don't have that, and depending on the volume of groceries, it really depends on whether I want to go through that. And plus, with the ice, it can be a bit tricky. And you can get groceries delivered, but I've never done that before, and I need to try that out one day. But I just find ordering cereal and stuff on Amazon is pretty good. And then I can order almost anything I need for about the same price, or slightly different price. Although, to be fair, there are some items that are ridiculously priced. So juices are ridiculously priced. Certain types of candies and sweets and stuff are overly priced. I can't think of other things on the top of my head right now, but there are some things that are just ridiculous, ridiculously expensive. But I find for paying less than $3 a month for free shipping on Amazon stuff, when I order stuff on a pretty regular basis, and plus I can allow other people to take advantage of it as well. So if I need to order stuff for the school or church or for a friend of mine, then I'll totally let them use my Prime, because it doesn't cost me anything extra, because they can input their own credit cards and they can pay using their own money. I don't have to pay for it. So they're just literally using the free shipping, which I'm not paying anything extra for them to use, so to me it's worth it. And I mean, there are some pretty nice things you can get off Amazon, and I like getting I get my coin supplies actually from Amazon. So I bought my 2x2 cardboard holders from Amazon, because normally if I buy them from a coin shop online, they have shipping charges as well. So the fact that I get free shipping for my coin supplies is a huge benefit, and it's about the same price. So Amazon's really good for coin supplies if you're looking for 2x2 cardboard holders or for the plastic sheets. It's a really good deal because you get not only brand new out of the box, but you get it shipped for free if you have Prime. So, and I managed to buy penny-sized, nickel-sized, and I think 50-cent sized cardboard holders, and they work wonders. The only thing is that sometimes they don't align properly, but they do their job. And I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to like find a Canadian coin shop to like buy their cardboard holders for the same price and then pay like double the price in shipping fees, where I can just get it off of Amazon for the same price but pay no shipping fees. And I did the same things for the coin sheets, and once those come in, I have probably a binder that I'm going to test out that'll probably work. And this is a pack of 20 sheets that hold 20 coins each, so that's, I think, 400 coins if I do my math correctly. And I don't think I even have that many coins to begin with. And I'll organize them in alphabetical order, which will help in my organization, because right now I think it's either mixed or I do have them in alphabetical order but just in piles, because I have all my coins labeled, or at least most of them labeled. I think I still have a few that I have left to label, but I have most of my coins like identified, especially the really foreign ones, so like the ones that have like Arabic or a Southeastern Asian language written on them. Those are a little bit more difficult to identify because there is no English writing or even Latin-based symbols or Arabic numbers. So those are sometimes a bit harder to identify, but I use a catalog, online catalog of coins called Numista, and basically it's just a catalog of every single coin in the world known to man. And it's basically it's user-based and user-run, so you can actually add coins to the catalog. I just need to make sure I'm not going to tip. And it shows you like pretty much every coin from history. We are now crossing into Luxembourg, one of Europe's smaller states, not a micronation. I checked on the definition. Luxembourg does not qualify as a micronation, but it comes pretty darn close. The only nations that I can think of that are smaller than Luxembourg are the micronations themselves, which are Andorra, Liechtenstein, San Marino, Vatican City, and Malta, and Monaco as well. So those are the six. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. There are 6 micronations in Europe, and then Luxembourg would come in at 7th, I believe. If my memory serves me correctly, there might be a... No, I don't think there are any other smaller nations than Luxembourg, like even in the east. So yeah, Luxembourg is... I don't know exactly what Luxembourg is famous for. I know that they are a Grand Duchy, so they're not a kingdom, they're a Grand Duchy, and they have a Duke of Luxembourg. Hey, it's Jet, how you doing? And I know that Luxembourg also has some European Union institutional headquarters as well. And I imagine they probably have other sites that I'm not very familiar with, but I would recommend going to Luxembourg. It's part of what they call the Benelux, so it's a Belgium, Netherlands, Netherlands, Luxembourg. So it's BE, and then NE, and then LUX. So BE is Belgium, NE is Netherlands, and then LUX is Luxembourg. And yeah, it's a very tiny nation, even in the game. You could drive straight through Luxembourg. If you're going fast, you can probably cross it in just like 2 minutes. And actually my headquarters is based in Luxembourg, so it's a pretty interesting known tip. If you do play this game, there is an achievement where if you buy every single garage in a single country, you get an achievement. And since there's only one garage in Luxembourg, if you start your company in Luxembourg, you get that achievement right away. So yeah, I think that's quite hilarious that they've actually they put that in there. Oh yeah, I guess I can show off my truck while I'm here. So that's the truck. I got it repainted and stylized, so it's very much based on the European Union, as you can probably guess. And I actually do have a customized trailer that goes along with this truck, but I'm just doing a freight job at the moment. So it's not with me at the moment. Actually, it's probably stored in Luxembourg. But because I'm heading to Austria, I have to cross into... I think I'm crossing straight to Germany from Luxembourg. Actually, I don't even know what country I'm crossing into. It could be France for all I know. Let me just double check. Yeah, I'm actually crossing back into France. And then I'll be in France for a while, and then into Germany. And then... So I just did a little bit of a detour. visit Belgium and Luxembourg on the way. So yeah, Luxembourg is a nice country as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely on my list of places to go, but it's not like landmark famous as like Italy or France, because like if you think of Italy, you can think of like the Roman Colosseum and the Leaning Tower of Pisa on the top of your head. If you think of France, you can think of the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, the Notre Dame Cathedral. Like you can think of that stuff on the top of your head. But when you think of Luxembourg, like the first thing that comes to my mind is like the shape of the country and the flag. And apart from that, I don't really know of any other like landmarks or significance of the country other than being like a founding member of the EU. Which I no disrespect to any Luxembourgers out there. I mean, that would be, I would definitely want to visit your country. Don't get me wrong. Definitely go visit Luxembourg. I think it's nice. I just don't know what's there to see. I'd have to look it up on Google. Of course, I'm getting an email message from something. I don't know if, because I'm running the chat off my phone because I'm doing this full screen. Eep. Because I'm not fancy enough to have two monitors, because I'm running this off a laptop first off. It's not even a desktop machine, so. Although, funny enough, I do have a monitor downstairs that I probably could use for chat if I wanted to, but that would just be a huge hassle. I'm going to read this email really quickly. Ooh, that's definitely an email I need to read. Okay. I just got an email from my father, who got in contact recently with another individual who we were possibly related to. We were doing family history research, and we were digging through Ancestry.ca because they had a free open weekend for records, and we found... oh, actually, this isn't related to Ancestry, funny enough. Oh, bienvenue à la France. Welcome to France. It's funny enough, when I say France in English, like I do France, but I can also do like La France, because it's like ants or ons, because there's different like A pronunciations. So yeah, no, sorry, I was doing family history research with my father, and we found this website called Find a Grave, which is not affiliated with Ancestry. It's a separate website, and it's a collection of graves where people take the photo of the grave and like put information on the individual, so it's like a virtual cemetery. And I don't know if it's international, but I know it's Canadian. And you can type up the name of a person, and it would come up with a list of individuals that have their grave records taken. And we found like a great uncle of ours, and we didn't have a lot of information for them, so we wanted to find some information. We found the grave because it matched the information that we did have. And a nice feature on this website is that you can actually leave virtual flowers on a grave, and leave a special message for someone that, you know, if you knew them and they passed away, you could leave like flowers on their grave and stuff. And we found this individual who left flowers on this person's grave, and the message read, you know, to the great-great-grandfather that I never knew or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, hey, if this guy's related to... If this guy said that this is his great-grandfather, then we're obviously related. Let's see if he has any information, because maybe he has information on family history or something. And so I'm imagining that email is going to be the correspondence that my father took with this gentleman. And if it does have any useful information that we might be able to utilize to put pieces together, then we can help each other out. Because I've recently discovered that I have a great-great-grandfather who I think would be the brother of this other individual, or at least the other individual's ancestor. My great-great-grandfather actually came from South America, from British Guyana, and he came from, we actually found the ship record that he was on that went to Halifax, because the date matched the year that he came from, according to the census, in 1911. And we actually also found, by coincidence in the census, my ancestor's, my great-great-grandfather's mother, who was also from British Guyana. So we are actually able to go back a generation further. And I found out that she was born in, and I mean, we didn't know this person existed, so this is all brand new information. So it turns out that she was born in, I think, 1845. Excuse me. And that she took the ship from British Guyana. We believe that she was also born in British Guyana. And they took the ship, both my great-great-grandfather and his mother, and possibly other siblings. There were 2 other individuals on the ship's manifest with the same last name, and I believe those are siblings. Because the age difference would have been a little bit bizarre, and especially traveling alone without a mother when it wasn't previously listed as him being widowed. So I believe they are younger siblings. We found out that my great-great-grandfather and his mother moved to Montreal sometime between 1902 and 1911. I'm not sure how long they had been living there for, but I imagine that as soon as they came to Canada, they were aiming to settle in Quebec, I imagine. And then my great-grandfather, who actually died in 1997, so he was alive for a few years after I was born. He was born in Montreal, and I didn't actually know that myself, so that was interesting to note that I actually have someone who was born in Quebec. But sometime between 1911 and 1921, my great-great-grandfather moved out, moved away from Quebec and moved out west, because when I looked at the 1921 census with my great-great-great-grandmother, my great-great-grandfather's name was no longer listed. So between 1911 and 1921, he moved out. But my great-great-great-grandmother was still living with other individuals, which I'm assuming were either her children or, you know, there was some living arrangement at the time. And then I found a record written in a book where it matches the individual as well as the age and the name of the husband, which would have been the same name, like my great-great-great-grandfather, great times 3, because we have a tradition where every firstborn male would be named the same name. But we broke that tradition with my grandfather because my grandfather is not named the same as my other ancestors. And my father's not named that, and I'm not named that, so we kind of broke the tradition after my great-grandfather. But it matched the name, so it turns out that my great-great-great-grandmother died in 1925. So about 4 years after the 21 census was conducted, and that she died at 80 years of age. So I find it fascinating that I've discovered this person for the first time, that I know the year that she was born, the year that she died, and that she lived in Montreal presumably for the rest of her life, for the next 20 years of her life. And that, you know, I don't know exactly what she did, whether she just kept the house or she was retired or whatnot. But I find it so fascinating that that she traveled from British Guyana to North America, and I believe that she was widowed at the time she went, because when she was mentioned on the passenger manifest, she was in her mid-50s, and the ancestor that was listed alongside her was only 25. So unless if she had a really weird marriage arrangement that I'm unaware of, I believe my great-great-grandfather's father... I just missed the turn. Why did I want to turn there? Oh, because I wanted to stop by Strasbourg, didn't I? No, why would it? See, it wanted me to take this second gray line, but I don't know why. Okay. But I believe that my great-great-great-grandfather, so 3 greats, had died in British Guyana. And I don't know why he could have died, from a number of reasons, but that my great-great-great-grandmother was widowed when she left British Guyana. Possibly that might have been the reason why she left, now that I'm speculating, because she might not have been able to take care of her children in the British colony, but she wanted to move to the Dominion of Canada at the time for a better life, or I don't know what her exact reason is, but it's not unreasonable to assume that someone who's widowed at her age, at 53, would want to leave British Guyana, or perhaps the thought of staying in British Guyana was too much for her because her husband had died, and staying in the same city would be a bit too much, so she wanted to just move away and try and live the rest of her life with relative peace. So the fact that like 2 or 3 days ago I didn't know this woman existed, now I've learned a little bits and pieces about her, and there's still so much we don't know, because we don't know, we don't have access to the British Guyana records, and I don't even know if they would still exist, because obviously British Guyana doesn't exist anymore, it's just Guyana. And I don't know if they would have kept the colonial birth records, or whether when Britain withdrew they took the records with them back to England, or whether they were destroyed, or whether they were just lost, because I imagine colonial transitions weren't easy for a lot of people. So I don't know where those records are. I'd have to either physically go to Georgetown, British Guyana and see where they've ended up, or go to London and see whether there's any colonial affairs office that might still exist. I mean there has been a lot that's digitized, but there's still so much that we don't know. And thankfully in British Columbia they have a policy where they release the death records of every single British Columbian citizen who's died in BC after 20 years of life. So my great-grandfather, who died in 1997, had his records released 2 years ago, in 2017, because 20 years had passed. And it noted that his father, my great-great-grandfather, was born in British Guyana. So that's how I found out. And that's how we've confirmed that he was indeed from British Guyana. And then just the rest of the story that I've sort of speculated is just speculation. That's what it is. But I mean, it's sort of a logical speculation, because gotta love drivers. That is a speculation, but that I think is the most logical speculation. I'm definitely open to, like, if I'm wrong about it, like, I'm perfectly open to revise my history. Like, that's not an issue for me. But I find it so fascinating when you do learn about ancestors and other people's life stories, because you realize the struggles that your ancestors went through in order to survive and to actually come up to where you are now. So like, I am who I am, and that is a result of my mother and my father being alive, and that's a result of my grandparents being alive, and it keeps going and going and going. And especially living in Canada, we're a very immigrant-based society, so a lot of our citizens are from other countries, whether it be Europe or Africa or South America, Australia, wherever. We have rich, deep histories. Part of me, I just found out, came in 1902, which is, I guess, now 112 or 117 years ago now, so it's not too old, I guess. But then I have other ancestors that came in the 1630s. That was over 400 years ago. So you think about the diversity of where you come from, and how wide-ranging it is, and how you can be both a somewhat new Canadian and a very old Canadian. The fact that 4 generations ago, my family wasn't in this country. That's, to me, that's an interesting thing to know. But then 13 generations ago, my family came to this country on another side of my family, and so that's also interesting to know. So it's like, yes, my family has been here for 400 years, but also my family has only been here for 100 years. It's fascinating, the stories that you find, and then there's other individuals that you've thought you've never know about. And just all of these people have their own interesting stories. My Italian ancestors came to Canada they originally went to New York City in the 1850s, and they were statue masons. They made statues for churches, and they originally started the work in New York City, but because of the looming Civil War, they actually defected to Canada, and one of the brothers actually stayed here, and that was my ancestor. He stayed in Canada and lived the rest of his life on a farm, and the other brother returned to New York after the Civil War was done, and I believe, as far as I know, I need to confirm this, but I believe the company that he founded in America is still there. And it's amazing that how years later his legacy is still living on. You know, and it's amazing that the decision that my ancestors made, instead of fighting in the Civil War and dying, they decided to go to Canada. And they were able to live and raise their families. And you know, when my French ancestors came 400 years ago and settled in Quebec, you know, the journey that they must have taken, in the winters that they would have faced, and the dealings that they had with the native population would have been astounding. But I also can't help but wondering what their interactions with natives were like. You know, were my ancestors kind-hearted people that treated the natives with respect, or were they usually the textbook case of Europeans taking advantage of what they call the red man? You know, I hate to think that my ancestors were rude to these people, and it's quite possible that they were. But unfortunately, I won't really ever know because I wasn't there. And it's funny, I went to a Truth and Reconciliation conference back, it must have been a year ago by now. And every person had a chance to speak in what they called the sharing circle, and there were residential school survivors, and I got to meet with them, and we got to all, you know, tell our stories and that. And I told them about my French ancestors, and that, you know, I don't know what they did, but, you know, if they made any mistakes, then I want to make sure that I don't make those same mistakes. And granted, I know I'm not gonna, like, swindle Aboriginal people out of their land, because that time's over, but it's the fact that they didn't have any... Oh dear, I just realized what I'm gonna do. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, I just realized why my game was lagging so much is because my laptop battery was about to run out, probably. I always forget to plug in my laptop during the streams, because normally they're at like full battery when I start. So I just had to make sure that my laptop didn't die. But yeah, I was at this Truth and Reconciliation conference, and I told them, you know, like, my ancestors were here when Canada was first being settled. I don't know what they did, but more than likely they must have contributed to the sufferings of, you know, the the older Aboriginal people. And so it's like, I can't take responsibility for my ancestors' actions because I didn't commit them, but what I can commit to is peace and respect today. They may have made a mistake 400 years ago, but I can do work to try and rectify that today. And I spoke about how, you know, these people were just living their lives, and then we come here with our superior arrogance, and then we just, you know, we walk all over them, we take their resources, and we just do whatever we want. And it was horrible. And, you know, when I was saying, you know, we need to work towards peace and respect, and we need to let these people live their culture, live their lives without fear of being suppressed or re-assimilated or whatever. There was one residential school survivor that had said he understands, he gets it. And I felt so humbled at that moment, because from their perspective, I am a white individual not wishing to lord any form of superiority or arrogance over them, but wanting to live in a sort of peaceful coexistence. Why am I pulled in here? Oh, because I wanted to discover the truck dealership. That's why I was like, why am I getting my truck repaired? There's no damage. Is there no damage? There's no damage. I'm good. But it's lagging for some reason. Let me just quickly double check. So yeah, that was really emotional for me, honestly. Just like having that person say he gets it. I felt that I could sympathize, understand what they're going through. And to me that was just extremely humbling. Like I'll never forget that. I don't know why it's lagging. Hey Keelan. I'm hoping that giving it, maybe I'll let it sit for a minute just to like let, maybe it's loading things up or something. But yeah, that to me that was just the most amazing experience, to actually be like among residential school survivors, to hear their stories, to learn about the history, and to say, no, we're not going to make those same mistakes, and to actually make a plan to respect their culture, to respect their way of life, and to let them live the way they wish to, without, you know, us Europeans shoving down our culture down their throats. And we did smudging ceremonies on a regular basis, and that was amazing to be a part of. And you know, it was a great conversation of love and respect. See, I don't know why my game is lagging so much. Like normally it's not. Normally it's pretty smooth. I don't know why it's doing that. If it doesn't sort out by driving itself around, I'm going to reload the game. Just because it shouldn't be lagging like this, and I don't know why it is. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm still here, but I'm going to go behind the scenes for a moment to make sure. Good. Okay, so I'm still here. I'm still chatting. I just need to see, why is it taking up so much? Because normally it does not lag this much. Yeah, my battery almost died. Let me just confirm I'm still here. I know you guys are watching a black screen. Intermission. I should probably have like an intermission screen, but I just haven't bothered to actually set that up. Yeah, 8%. See, yeah, my battery almost died. Go away. Go away. Go away. Okay. So that is why. So what I'm going to do, turn that down, probably because it's so low, it's just charging up a bit. Let's bring the game back on. So yeah, that was an amazing experience for me. I'm so glad that I did it. Okay, I just gotta be patient. Love is patient, love's kind. So yeah, I hope that your 2018 is going well. 2019 is going well. Okay, why aren't you working? My game's refusing to load. An error has occurred. I don't care what the error is. Actually, I do care what the error is, but I want to run. Don't give me your errors. Oh, I might have launched it twice. Hold on. Let me exit out of the program, because I think I did launch it twice. The screen's taking forever to load. Thankfully, you can't see my frustration in frozen screens. There we go. Exit. Yes, I really want to quit. Okay. Let's try that. Come on. This is such a exciting and thrilling and action-packed stream. Black screen that has all bunch of explosions and lasers and fight scenes. Okay, now you should be able to see once my screen kicks into motion. Oh, did I push the wrong? No, you did. Okay, perfect. It's just overly laggy. Or not laggy, but it's very delayed. Just gonna let things load in. Euro Truck Simulator 2, yay. I love this music. Just waiting for more things to load. There we go. Continue. And hopefully it stops being laggy that my battery will take, because yeah, my battery almost died. That's a good sign for my laptop. If my game starts lagging, it's most likely the battery's dead. Or at least dying. Oh my goodness. Euro Truck Simulator 2. Great game. I'd recommend picking it up. It works. Like, it works on my dinky laptop. Mine the lava. What achievement's that? I'm not going to bother looking at the achievements. Pray this works. If not, you'll have a laggy stream to watch. And it'd say watch it in 2x speed, but you can't do that because that's not how time works. Oh, excuse me. I am currently delivering dry milk to Salzburg. Actually, I don't think... Have I had dry milk before? I don't think so. I've had, like, condensed milk for, like, cooking. Is the lag gone? The lag is mostly gone. I'll take it. So we're back on the road. We're in Stuttgart, which I believe is in France, even though it's a very German-sounding name. I think it's just because, like, Germany gave France this land or something. But it's a very German-sounding place. Because we have not crossed into Germany yet, I believe. Let me just double-check the map. Stuttgart. Oh, no, I've lied. We are, in fact, in Germany. It's Strasbourg. Alright, Strasbourg was the one that sounded German. We crossed the German border? I didn't see the flag. Well, I was wrong. Welcome to Deutschland. Allemagne. Apparently we are in Germany. That means we only have one more country to go, and then we are in L'Autriche, Austria. Great things about Germany. They have Berlin, so if you want to see remnants of the Berlin Wall or the Brandenburg Gate, well, the Brandenburg Gate's in full, it's not in ruins, but it's there. But the Berlin Wall, I think there's still pieces of it left, and you can see some of the outlines and stuff. Plenty of Cold War history, and there's Frankfurt, Munich, Dusseldorf, plenty of places to see in Germany early, so it's an overall great country to go see. Thankfully now unified after the fall of the Berlin Wall in '89, and then German unification came shortly after. And then the USSR fell, and then Cold War was quote-unquote over. That's kind of debatable at this point, just with the whole, like, Russians interfering with American elections is a very Cold War thing to do. So, I don't know. I think it's over because, like, Soviet Russia's done, but you got the conspiracy theorists that are saying, oh, you know, it's gonna be the end, Russia's still KGB and blah blah blah. I don't really know. I don't really think about that sort of thing. But no, there's plenty of lovely things to see in Germany. Germany has a new... I think they're going to get a new chancellor, because I know Angela Merkel has retired. She's been, like, the chancellor for years. And she was one of the powerhouses of the EU, but she's retired recently. So I don't know who the new German chancellor is going to be, or whether they've found a replacement, or the elections happened or not. I don't remember. But they should have someone new fairly soon, if not now. And I know that, well, at least on the European Union side, they finished negotiating the deal, saying that that's the best deal that they're going to get. I'm going to predict that the UK is going to have a no deal. because I don't anticipate the UK extending the Article 50 deadline, because then people are going to protest like nuts because they want Brexit to be over. They're not going to cancel Brexit because that's going to make things worse. They're not going to take on May's deal because of the Irish backstop. And she knew that her vote wouldn't go through the House, so she clearly knows what's going to happen. Her deal's going to fail, and there's going to be a no deal, and then they're already making concession plans. Like, literally, they were actually practicing what a backlog would look like at an abandoned airport. Like, they actually had 80 trucks in a line, and they would actually time to see how long it would take for the backlog to like go through, and they were making like contingency plans to open like new ports and stuff for trucks to go through. Like, they know no deal's gonna happen. Like, there's no ifs about it. And if that's the case, I'm almost certain that Scotland's going to go independent because of the chaos and the fact that they want to stay in the EU. Like, that's one of their big reasons why they stayed within the United Kingdom, is because they would stay in the EU. But now that they're leaving, there's nothing holding them back. So I imagine that another independence referendum is going to happen, and I think Scotland's going to vote for leave. And I'm not 100% sure what the Northern Irish situation is. If they do decide to put up a border, it might tear communities apart, and there could be a big enough vote to have Irish unification. I imagine that those who are more union bound will not like that, but to have peace in the region, I think Irish unification may be necessary. It all depends on how they handle the border. If they do the border smartly, there may not be a need for Irish unification, but I think that there could be a potential breakup of the United Kingdom to the point where it's just the United Kingdom of England and Wales, and that's all it'll be. And I don't know what the Welsh situation is like. I don't know if they want independence. I don't think they do, but I don't anticipate that, because the majority of Wales did vote to leave, along with England. I imagine that Wales and England are very happy with their decisions. I'm about to crash. I'm trying to drink water as I drive, and I can't do that with holding a microphone at my mouth at the same time. So that's why I'm not even accelerating. I'm just letting the car or the truck go at its normal speed. Hello, Poetic Justice. I hope you're doing very well on this fine January day. It's unfortunately very snow covered where I am. And it's very depressing because I saw someone live stream in a park in London, and there was lots of green grass. I guess I think it was in London, it might have been somewhere else, but it was like in the UK, and it's like, I want all that green grass where I am, because I don't like winter. It's nice to see. Snow is very pretty to look at when you actually have to live through it. My game is still very much like, I do apologize for the quality of the stream, guys. I'm just because my laptop has such low battery power that it's struggling to keep up with the performance. So yeah, it'll probably end up being a bit of a shorter stream today, just because of my foolish ignorance with my battery laptop. I keep on forgetting to plug it in. Unless of the stream quality improves by the time we get to Salzburg. I was gonna say Strasbourg, but it's Salzburg. By the time I get to Austria, if it improves by then great. If not, then I'll cut it short. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of snow, and I'm really not a big fan of ice. Ooh. So yeah, I'm hoping that it goes away, but at some point. I mean, like, it was funny, we had snow on Christmas Eve, snow on Christmas Day, and then I think by the 27th or the 28th, we were back to having green grass. So I was like, yay, we're gonna have a bit of we had a white Christmas, but like a green New Year's type thing. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I mean, if I had things my way, I'd be living in like Malta right now, because at least there is nice and warm. But you know, I'm stuck in Canada, and like, Canada's a very nice place to live, don't get me wrong, I love Canada, but just the snow is just a bit irritating to deal with. But I am oh, I'm not pushing the right buttons. See, this is difficult where I'm like, I need more than 2 hands to do this thing. Ugh. Yeah, that's sort of the I mean, I like living in Canada, don't get me wrong, but it's just I prefer a warmer place. I mean, like, if we had like the Turks and Caicos as our 11th province, I'd probably just go live there. I wouldn't mind living in the Caribbean, or at least do the snowbird thing and just like go down there for the winter. Oh right, I'm supposed to go straight. I was like, why am I turning? I just go forward. Okay, let me just go a bit. But yeah, and it's funny because there have been serious attempts to try and get the Turks and Caicos as our 11th province, but so far things have fallen through. But I mean, Canada would like to have its own Hawaii. You know, you Americans have the beautiful state of Hawaii, and we've got, I mean, the closest thing I guess would be like Vancouver Island, but that's not tropical at all. That's just a place that doesn't get a lot of snow, because it mostly just rains there, really. There is some snow, but it's very rare. Truck dealership, do I need to... Nah, it's only 1%, I'll live with that. Oh, golly. But yeah, it's, I would like a nice warm place to live. I mean, like, it's funny, because our southernmost point actually meets up with Northern California, and yet we still get a bunch of snow. Oh, that is a red light, and I almost ran into that truck. See, red lights are very important, even if I don't agree with them. Oh, now it turns green as I look. Really? No, I'm not turning just yet. But yeah, I mean, and it's funny because I don't like extreme heat either. Like, I would rather freeze than sweat, because like at least with freezing I can add layers. Like sweating, there's only so much layers I can take off before it becomes socially inappropriate. So I do prefer the cold over the heat, but I don't like freezing. I prefer it to be like a nice, comfortable, like 25 degrees with a nice breeze. I think is the best happy medium. But unfortunately, we don't get a lot of that in Canada. I mean, like, we get it during like late spring, early fall, I guess. But that's not a lot of time. I mean, like, it naturally snows. At least where I am, it naturally snows from like late October until like early April. Like, I've had snow on my birthday, because my birthday is like mid-April, so like I get snow on my birthday all the time. And I mean, it has snowed on Halloween before, so it's it can get quite depressing at times. I mean, unless if you're into snow, then hey, it's a winter wonderland for you. The only thing, well, and there are positives to winters. Like, we have winter festivals across Canada, so like we have Winterlude in Ottawa, and we have the Winter Carnival. I don't actually know the name of it, but it's in Quebec City, and probably Montreal has one too. But Quebec City is one of the more famous ones because it has the Bonhomme de Neige, which is like the snow, like a snowman essentially, like a snow little figurine. And you can go see like Bonhomme, and he's all you know, happy and joyful, and they turn like Quebec City into basically this winter carnival. And there's like little winter slides and ice sculpture building competitions and just a whole festival of snow. And in certain areas you can actually have maple taffy on a stick. So what happens is that they actually take sap from a maple tree, they boil it down to like clean it and stuff, and then they pour it onto snow. They let it solidify until it's this like really thick syrup taffy, and you take a popsicle stick and you wrap the popsicle stick in the taffy, and you roll it along the ice, because the ice cools it down to be a consistency where you can eat it almost like a taffy. And we literally, it's like literally drinking or eating maple syrup off a stick from snow. Like, it's the most Canadian thing that I can think of. It's like eating maple syrup off of snow off a stick. Like, it's great. I've done it several times, and they actually have what they would call sugar bushes, which is essentially just like a cabin in a forest of maple trees that specializes in making maple syrup. And they serve like maple candies and maple products, and they also have some of them actually have full meals that are maple based. So you have like maple sausages and like maple glazed potatoes, and just like it goes nuts on the maple. And it's quite a common thing for parents to do with their kids. Like I did when I was a kid. It's a very like kid oriented thing, but I mean like adults do it too all the time. But you have to make sure that it's like special places. Like I wouldn't recommend doing it on the street, because the snow is like sanitized snow, like it's clean snow. And they make sure that there's like a special process to boiling down the maple syrup properly to make sure that you do kill the bacteria and like make sure that it is indeed edible and it's not just like, I don't know, filled with the normal like bacteria and toxins that are associated with like trees and stuff. But I've done it plenty of times, and they actually do it there's a museum in Quebec City that also doubles as a maple store, and they do maple syrup on a stick in the snow in the store, so you can actually have it done year round, like whether it's like May or like I don't know if they do it in the summertime, but I know they did it in the spring when I went to Quebec City in May, and not May of this year but May of last year, or no, 2 years ago I guess now. They actually had it inside the store, and there was like the museum on the upper level and the actual store on the bottom level, where you could buy like maple salt, maple pepper, other maple spices, spicy maple. You know, there's syrups, there's spreads, there's glazes, maple cured candies, maple cured bacon, maple croutons, like maple everything. Anything that you could probably think of having maple on it, it would probably have it. So like maple flavored coffees and teas and hot chocolates, and maple flavored ice creams and gelatos and all sorts of very delicious and tasty treats. I'm gonna put on my light again for my truck, because it is getting a bit dark. And we are now crossing from Germany into Austria. Welcome to L'Autriche. Ooh, giant lag spike as I crossed into Austria. Austria is very well known for its classical music. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Beethoven that is from Austria, or it might be Mozart. One of those two composers is from Austria, and they're actually featured, I think it's Mozart. He's featured on the €1 coin from Austria, because I actually have one. When I was in Europe, I actually managed to collect 16 out of the 23 countries that use the euro, and Austria was one of them that I collected, and I found a euro with Mozart on it. So yeah, Austria is very famous for their classical music. Don't really know what else Austria is famous for, but they have won the Eurovision Song Contest twice. One in, goodness, 66, I think it was, with, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he sung a song called Merci, I think, Merci Chérie or something like that. And then they won in 2014 with Conchita Wurst, the drag queen with Rise Like a Phoenix, and then they hosted the 60th Eurovision Song Contest in Vienna. And that was actually quite a milestone. The fact that Eurovision has been around for 60 years is actually quite impressive. And then Austria actually won the televote in 2018 in Lisbon, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was a decent song, but I wasn't expecting it to actually win the jury vote, because it wasn't in my, I don't even think it was in my top 5. It might have been in my top 10, but not my top 5. So I was very surprised when the juries gave it top place. And then they gave Sweden second place, but they ended up getting like 3rd or 4th last in the televote. Like, they did not do well. It was a giant discrepancy. But yeah, I'm sure Austria has some nice things about it. I just don't know what they are. I'm not that, there's plenty of things I don't know about Europe's countries. I know like of the basic stuff that everybody knows about, so like France and Italy and Spain and stuff, but like when it comes to like the secondary countries, I'm skipping the I'll try it actually. Why not? I'm gonna back up a bit though, because this should be hopefully easy. I'm hoping that because I'll go on a bit of a break, to the one person that's watching, I'm gonna go on a bit of a break and let my computer charge up naturally, and I'll also just stretch for a bit. But I shall leave you with a lovely... Come on, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna fast travel to my Luxembourg location. Hopefully that should give me enough time to get like the sun come up and give you, right? Will give myself mostly a break. I probably could come up with an intermission screen. I just don't have. Oh, I leveled up. High value cargo or just in time delivery? Or should I go with more gas? Just in time deliveries. Let's go high value. I'm not doing fragile cargo because nope, that won't work. Actually, I'm gonna do something very strange. I think this will work. I'm hoping this will work. Let the screen go black for a minute. Waiting for the leg to come in because I'm on a bit of a delay. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, and hopefully this should work. Come on, letting it load. Letting it load, letting it load. I'm still here, it's not frozen. I'm still here, it's letting it load. And see, I would normally put on like music and stuff, but I don't want to get copyrighted, so I don't know what to do in terms of like music. Actually, do I still have classical music? Sorry, I'm setting this up for the first time. I should still have classical music in here that I'm really hoping they don't have copyrighted. Is Beethoven copyrightable? I don't know, because he's dead, so I'm hoping that it's copyright free. I do have Beethoven, so I'm going to put on some classical music while y'all have a... Can I get the length of the song? Length. What's the longest song I've got? That would be 13 minutes. Oh, sure. I don't know what song this is, but I'm going to play it. Open with... And I'll try to make sure the music's not that loud. Bring it down. And while that's loading, I'm going to write a word. Oops. There. Okay. Now I just gotta wait for the music to load in. And then we'll be able to... Oh, come on, why aren't you loading? See, this is the great thing about having, like... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this. So at least you can... Oops. Let's pray that this is work. Does it work? Actually, funny thing, I probably should have just done a PowerPoint. There we go. Okay, that'll do its thing. Oh, wait. Is it this button? I don't remember which button it works. You should be hearing Beethoven by now. I was hoping that my screen would pop up by now. There we go. Okay. I was hoping for full screen. Can I do full screen? Like, see, normally I would just do, like, I should have done a PowerPoint, but anyways, intermission time. In case you couldn't tell what this is, let me just put this in the center. There. Alright, so I'm going to go on intermission. So feel free to get yourself a drink, feel free to go to the bathroom, feel free to leave and come back, or leave and not come back if you want. But I will be taking a short break, so please stay tuned. I shall hopefully return shortly. Alright. Probably should have ended a bit less abruptly, but I have returned. Good, and the audio is working. This button to turn back on. Where do we go from here? Well, let's check the world map. Sorry about that intermission, but a guy's got to stretch his legs, do all this sort of stuff. Let's go to Linz. It's close by. Discovered a new city along the way. So I hope you had a wonderful intermission. Back to bring you more lovely content. Oops. Click my leggy mouse. I'm hoping the game's delagged by now. I hope. How do I get out of here? Let's try this way. There we go. So yes, welcome back to the stream. If you haven't liked the video already, please do so. And please subscribe if you are new. I've just been notified that I've gotten a few more subscribers, and I'm up to 35 people. I was at I think it was 32, I believe it was, before I started. So thank you to those who subscribed. Really appreciate it. Really helps the channel out. Mind-blowing to think of 35 whole people actually want to see more of my content. That's like a classroom size of people. Now I'm obviously not at the hundreds or thousands mark. That's even more mind-blowing. As I crash into a sign. But I can imagine what it must be like for people who have like subscriber counts the same as like countries. So now like PewDiePie has like 80 million subscribers. That's like more than twice the size of Canada. So it's like if every Canadian had 2 YouTube accounts, that still wouldn't be enough. Like, it's absolutely mind-boggling just to see like these numbers of people that are subscribed to channels around the world. And like a few channels that I normally interact with, they're in like the high hundreds to the mid thousands, and it's just like, it's mind-blowing to me that you can have like subscriber counts the same as populations. Shoot, I pushed the wrong button. I pushed the E instead of the D. And actually I wanted to readjust because I pushed F2 by accident. There we go. Well, let's hope that this incoming town has a garage to fix my truck, because I anticipate engine malfunctions. Maybe, probably. But at least I have plenty of money to at least take care of that, of those bills. So, and I don't remember what topic we were talking about before the intermission, so I guess I'll just start a new one. That's always the age-old question, what to talk about, because there's a number of different things I could talk about. I mean, if I knew more about Austria, I'd just talk about Austria. Oh, excuse me. The one thing I do wish they would have had in this game, and I understand why they didn't have it in the game, because like of space constraints and design constraints. I wish they would have added the microstates. Like, I wish they would have added Liechtenstein, because I would have you could technically drive to Liechtenstein if they bothered to put in the road that would go through Liechtenstein. Or like San Marino, or, well, in Vatican, you can't really drive through the Vatican. Like Monaco. Like, they have Nice, but there's no like proper Monaco. Or like Andorra, but I mean, they don't have Spain either, so I guess it doesn't make sense to add Andorra yet, but I don't think they will. This is the engine malfunction I was worried about having. Like, I wish they would have added the microstates, just because like each country in Europe deserves a spotlight, because like they each have their own unique cultural identities, like even the smaller states. And there's a lot of people don't know about these countries, so like in games like this where geography is literally the point of the game, having your country in this sort of thing, or even like existing, I think would be a huge boost. You know, if San Marino, oh geez, if San Marino was on the map, And, you know, Estonia is a different country. People would be like, what's San Marino? Let's drive up to it and see what it looks like. Because, like, I know there must be other people other than myself who love to explore and who would love to see this sort of thing. But unfortunately, because of design restraints or, you know, whatever reasons people give, there's just not enough space for all these countries. But I feel like each country deserves to be explored, and it would be great for tourism. So, like, you know, people driving to the beyond the Baltics, for example, they added like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Finland, and parts of Russia. And so when people drive through these virtual parts, they want to wonder to themselves, I wonder how accurate it is. And maybe they will take a trip to Estonia or Latvia or Lithuania or Finland or Russia just to see what it's like, because there's that little nugget of inspiration. It might not just be because of this game, but I feel like this could help nudge and inspire people to go travel. And I mean, especially for people, I really can't drive, especially for people like myself, who, you know, love traveling, love exploring. I guess there's a missed opportunity for tourist. I don't want to say tourist advertising, but it is tourist advertising for places in Europe like this. You know, where you want to see the actual Linz, or you want to go see Vienna, or you want to go see, you know, Czech Republic, Hungary. There's so many countries that this game has, and there's so much potential for such amazing content, and yet, you know, the design elements of the game restricts what can be put into the game. And that to me is oh, did I go on the wrong road? I went on the wrong road. Great. I want to pull a UE. Let me pull a UE. See, I hate maps like this because it just goes like, it doesn't tell you, oh, you're going overhead. It's a road. Oh, come on. There we go. Let me pull a UE. I don't want to drive on the wrong side of the road, and I don't want to... There we go. No. I'll pull a UE here, because that's not that far. I feel like there's such a loss of opportunity for tourists, especially for tourism boards. Like, I know San Marino, they try to massively advertise their country. And they do a lot of campaigning around the region just to get local people to come in. And I've actually subscribed to their Instagram accounts, and I see how hard these guys work at drawing tourists, because there's not a lot of tourists to go to San Marino, and that's their biggest industry, is tourism. And that's why I always tell people, if you're in Italy, go to San Marino. It's basically ancient Italy, but without all the tourists. And it really is. I mean, San Marino's not Italy. You know, that's a one thing you definitely do not want to call them Italian, because that's an insult. But it has similar architectural styles. It's the same language as Italy. They speak Italian. And they just have this sense about them where they have this amazing, beautiful culture. It's basically, a capital city is a 1700-year-old monastery that is transformed into a fortress, which is now transformed into a capital city, and it's gorgeous. You know, I want to go back, because I only spent like 2 days in San Marino, and that wasn't enough. Like, I didn't even get to tour the state museums or pretty much anything. The only thing I got to tour was the church, was the Basilica de San Marino, and that was gorgeous. And I got to see like the outside of the towers, and I got to, you know, walk along the walls that are on the cliff's edge, and just it really is stunning. And I mean, it's such an easy country to get into. There's no border checks. They use the euro just like Italy, so you don't have to worry about exchanging currencies. And you know, they specialize in tourism, so a lot of them will speak a broken form of English. You know, I don't speak a lick of Italian, and I was able to survive. So you really don't have to worry about, you know, language being thing. The only exception might be some stores, but you know, most of the shopkeepers will do their best and just, like, you know, speak normal English. Don't use like complicated words, just use simple language, and they'll understand you. And for you gun enthusiasts out there, there are gun shops in San Marino. They actually sell weapons and guns, and they actually have American themed gun stores. There's actually one nearby my hotel, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Well, cute and funny. But if you're American looking for European weaponry, this store sells like they sell swords, and they sell guns, and they sell like crossbows, and you know, like all kinds of different weapons. They're really big on weapons in San Marino. Now that I've actually discovered the next town we can look at. The next local town is very far away. Let's go to Vienna. Vienna's a pretty major one, so I might as well go there. It's truly an amazing country to see, and I tell people all the time, like, hey, if you're in Italy, go to San Marino. It's one of your I find that the micronations of Europe are the hidden gems of Europe, because there is so much history, so much, you know, even cuisines. San Marino's food was really good, and they actually pride themselves on being as local as possible, whether they import goods from the surrounding Italian region or they actually grow their own food. San Marino makes its own wine and its own chocolate, and I think they also raise their own beef to an extent, and they just import whatever they need extra from Italy. So you know that everything is local, and the country is so small that local really means local. So like the farthest point where I was from the country was like maybe a 30-kilometer drive. So like the fact that you can get wine from within 30 kilometers of where you're staying, and for such a cheap price. I paid a total of 18 Canadian dollars, so that's probably close to like 10 American, for 3 bottles of wine, like 3 full bottles of wine. And I'm talking about like little bottles, I'm talking about like regular sized bottles, for 18 bucks. You can't get a bottle of wine in Canada for under 18 bucks, like a decent bottle of wine. And like this wine is made locally, to the point where I probably could see the vineyard from where I was staying in the capital city. Like you could probably see the vineyard. Like it's made within San Marino's borders. There's like 4 or 5 different vineyards in the country. We talking about wine? Yes, indeed, we are talking about wine. Wine in San Marino. It's one of the most exclusive wines that I've ever seen made from a particular country, because they don't sell it outside of San Marino. You actually have to go physically to San Marino to buy the wine. Like they will not sell it in Italy, they will not sell it in the world. I drink $7 wines because I'm cheap. Hey, if you're looking for $3 bottles of wine, go to San Marino. Because I seriously, I bought this 750 liter bottle. I have no idea what that is in gallons, or milliliters, not actual liters. 750 liters of wine, geez. 750 milliliters of wine. I don't know how much that is in gallons or ounces or anything, but like it's standard. That's why I can't live in Canada. I mean, like our wines, well, actually it depends on what wine you guys. In Canada we have pretty decent wines, but yeah, in San Marino I paid €2.50 for a particular bottle of wine, and that translates to about $3 or $4 Canadian. Yeah, 750 ml wines. Yeah, like the fact that I paid 18 bucks for 3, that equates to like about $6 per bottle, like on average. That's amazing. Like you can't get $6 bottles of wine in Canada that's like good. So you definitely don't want to be living in Italy, because you can get like decent bottles of wine for like 3 or 4 euros a piece. I mean, there are more expensive wines obviously, but like if you were looking for cheap wines, San Marino's your place to go. And I only brought back 3. Like I wanted to bring like 10 back, but the problem is that we have tariff laws where if you bring like so much more than the allotted amount of wine, then you have to pay like duty and stuff. And I didn't feel like paying, you know, $100 worth of duty for 10 bottles of wine. And funny enough, I actually went over the limit, because you're only allowed to bring up to 500 milliliters of wine, I think it is. But I brought back, or not 500, 1.5 liters of wine is what you're allowed to bring back. And I brought back 2.1, I think. And I straight up told the customs lady, I declared that I had gone over my limit, and she wanted to know what the limit was, and I told her wine. And I actually gave her a piece of paper where I wrote down each bottle, its alcohol content, how much it costed me. You know, I was totally upfront with this woman, and then she just basically didn't do anything and said, "Have a nice day." And it's like, I don't have to pay tariffs or anything. And she said, "No, just go away," essentially. And I was like, oh, okay, it's your fault for me not having me to pay. And I mean, like, the tariff probably would have been like $3, you know. But at least I was like upfront and honest with this lady. It's not like I was trying to like hide the fact that I had brought back more wine than I should have, because we actually have strict laws where you're either supposed to bring back the wine yourself and declare it, or if you ship it, you have to ship it to the nearest government operated liquor license board store. Because in Ontario we have what we call the LCBO, which is the liquor, what does the C stand for? I actually don't know what the C stands for. It's like Liquor Something Board of Ontario, which basically controls alcohol in our province. And by law, we have to ship it to the nearest what we call LCBO, and then pay tariffs in order to actually get it. I'm also noticing the stream is very, as I crash some more, I notice that the stream is very choppy. Is it choppy for you? Let me know what the stream quality is like, because for me it's like I'm getting like 1 frame a second, and I can't seem to. Oh, my door's already closed. Jeez. Yeah, can you tell me what the stream quality is like, guys? Whether it's decent or not? I'm gonna face it towards some traffic, even though there's no traffic. Like, if I'm moving my mouse around right now, how smooth is that for you guys? Because for me, it's non-existent. I'm literally getting a frame a second. I'm gonna reload my stream. Okay, that's really bizarre. Okay, sorry, I'm doing another efficiency test. Just give me a sec, guys. Efficiency. Okay. Why? Okay, now I'm back to 30 frames. Okay, I've been live for, oh geez, I've been live for 2 hours. I didn't even realize that. Okay, I'm at 30 frames a second now, but that's because I'm on a black screen. CPU is at that. Where's my battery? 63, that's not bad. Then why on earth is it lagging so much? I'm gonna try closing the game one more time and then try reopening it. If I'm still having issues, I'm just gonna end the stream because I have been going for 2 hours. I really do apologize for the quality, ladies and gentlemen. I was hoping that it would be a bit better. I'm also tempted to try and stream other games like Fallout, because I've got Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 Game of the Year. Yes, I'm getting another error. Why? That's really bizarre. What I'll end up doing is that once the game's back up and running, I'll proceed to Vienna, and then I'll just end the stream there, because I have been going for 2 hours, and I normally go for about an hour and a half. But for some reason, I'm only getting 30. Is it my settings? Well, I can't change the settings now because I'm streaming, and I have to end the stream to change settings, but I'll see if I can boost the frame rate, because that's really bizarre. I'm only getting a maximum of 30 frames a second. I must have just done the settings wrong. Like, I'm very new to streaming, if you haven't noticed. And I'm waiting for the game to load, so that's why you still have a black screen. Otherwise, you'd see my desktop with my hideously unorganized icons. Why are you not loading? Gotta love behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love. Oh, there we go. We are back online-ish. I just gotta wait for the game to reload. We should be back live. I am only a virtual truck driver. I do not actually have a driver's license at all. I don't even have a learner's permit. So I'm not even permitted to learn how to drive. excuse me. So no, I've never driven a truck in my life. I've been in a truck. That was a long time ago, but I've never driven a truck in real life, so I don't know. I'd probably be a lot safer on the actual road, but on the virtual roads, I'm a menace. Which is why I never do multiplayer servers, because multiplayer servers are very, like, you need a multiplayer server for casual people, because all the multiplayer servers that I've heard of, they're basically all full of serious people that take their truck driving seriously, and I'm great with that. But have at least a multiplayer server that's casual, so that, you know, people that love to crash into each other can do that, because, like, I can't be the only one. You know, there have to be other people that do love genuinely just, you know, messing around with Euro Truck Simulator. And I mean, like, you know, for the people who take it seriously, great. You know, fantastic. Why shouldn't I be going that direction? Oh, just I think I'm on the other side of the road. There we go. It's because those things is on the other side of the road, I think. Let me confirm. Okay, yeah, I'm going the right way. Okay, cool. I am going now the right way. I mean, it's only 23 kilometers, so it's not that I don't have that far to go. But, so yeah, no, I am not a truck driver. I'm actually a seminary student. I'm studying to be a priest within the Presbyterian Church in Canada. So it's the Church of Scotland, and we're the Canadian branch. So we're not actually the Presbyterian Church of Canada, but the Presbyterian Church in Canada. There's a difference. I know that in the United States, I believe there are 2 branches of the Presbyterian Church. There's Presbyterian USA, and then I think the Free Presbyterians, I think they're called. There's 2 branches. But in Canada, there's the one. And then we also have the United Church of Canada, which was formed in the 1920s with part of the Presbyterian Church being a part of that unification movement, and I'm a result of what's left of the people who didn't decide to unify. So there is that. So yeah, I'm a seminary student. I'm studying to be a minister, an ordained minister within the Presbyterian Church, and I hope to be ordained in the next 3 to 4 years, depending on how long my education will take. Because I don't have to do it all at once. I can take my time. But I'm hoping that within, I want to say by the mid 2020s, that I'll be like ordained and like set to go and all that stuff. And then I'll just be a regular little priest that can, you know, marry people and do funerals and church services and all that fancy stuff. And I want to try and bring my own modern breath into the church. So like, I'm a very traditional person by nature, so like I like my services to be very tradition based, but I also recognize the need that the church needs to modernize, because I feel like a lot of the church's institutions and traditions are based in the 20th, if not the 19th century. And I feel like a lot of the churches that I've gone to don't engage with the community enough. I feel like they're in their own little world, their own little bubble, and that's a big problem. You know, the church is like, well, why aren't the numbers going up? You know, why are there not many people going to church anymore? Well, one of the big reasons is because we're in our own little bubble and that we don't do community outreach. You know, how hard would it be to be part of like a citywide festival and have a table handing out free water or something? You know, no strings attached. How hard would that be? You know, and that is outreach, that is ministry right there, you know, and that would at least tell people that, hey, you exist, and that those are the guys that hand out water, you know, what else, and people would get interested in, you know, what the church does as well, you know, just like little stuff like that. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable to want churches to be part of the community. I think it's necessary. But you have a lot of these people that want to just live in their own little bubble, who are only concerned about the short term, and they don't think long term on a proper scale. Or if they do think long term, then it's, you know, it's a bit flawed. You know what? I'm close enough to Bratislava that I'm going to go to Bratislava. Bratislava in Slovakia. That's right, that's the Czech Republic. and then that's Slovakia. All right, so we'll go to one more country and then we'll end the stream. Because it looks to me like the game's actually running okay. I say okay, it's probably still lagging, but I don't want to break my new truck. But I don't mind putting out a little bit more content, especially if there's new people. If you have not liked the stream, please do so. It really helps the channel out, and if you're new, please subscribe. I've recently discovered that actually saying the words like and subscribe actually do help people to like and subscribe. Because I'm one of those people that actually does forget to like the video. Especially if I'm in a stream, I will genuinely forget just to not like. And if I am new to that person, I have occasionally forgotten to subscribe. So yeah, I find that it does help to say that on occasion, even if it is a very bizarre concept for me to do. I mean, if anyone's watching just on playback, then, you know, it's, you've heard this the third time I think I said this. I don't even keep track myself. Oh shoot, darn. Oh, I'm okay. Thankfully my brake actually worked. I set my brake to be a lot harder than before. Like before it was a very gentle brake, but I set my brake to be like way harder. So I'm like, okay, this should actually minimize the amount of crashes like that'll happen. But yeah, I'm hoping that I will get to be able to stream again. See, instead of a giant crash, there's a little boop, and then all is mostly well. I hope to stream again soon. I don't have like a proper streaming schedule because I don't do this full time, so I really don't have the energy to do it every day. I mean, I'd probably be safe to say maybe once a week, depending on how I feel. But I mean, like, as the days go by, my life might get more complicated. I'm not sure. So I do apologize if I don't actually end up streaming. I was supposed to put up my Vatican City video this last week, but I just kept on putting it off and off and off. I still need to put music to it, and then do the final approval for the photos to make sure they don't have any duplicates, and I still have to do that. So I still have plenty of work to do. The problem is I need to find non-copyrightable music. Like, I need to find royalty-free music, and that takes time because I need music to last a long time. I don't want like 1 minute snippets of a song. It's like I want like a 3 to 4 minute song, but then I have to multiply that by like 5 or 6 because the video is going to be like 16 minutes long or whatever. This is a border crossing. Welcome to Slovakia. Welcome to Slovakia. This country is formerly part of the combined country of Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia broke up, I want to say, in the mid-90s. I don't remember the exact year. I think it might have been 93 or 94. And yeah, they are broken up as a result of the end of the Cold War. Czechoslovakia was under the eastern sphere of the USSR. They weren't part of the USSR, but they were under its sphere of influence. And so once the USSR broke up and once the East started opening up to the West, oh my word. Oh! There's a reason why there is a stop sign there. And I was very dumb to ignore it. Oh dear. Can I drive? I can drive. I'm just gonna go back to the repair shop. Ooh, that was a bad crash. Yeah, Slovakia was part of Czechoslovakia for a while. But then they broke up in the mid-90s, and so they've been independent ever since. Slovakia does use the euro. I can't remember when they instituted the euro, but it's actually pretty recently, I believe. I don't remember the exact year, but I wasn't actually able to find any Slovakian euros. That was one of the 7 countries that I was missing. Yeah, it was one of the 7 countries I was missing. So I couldn't actually find any coins from Slovakia. Yeah, the other countries I'm missing are Andorra, Malta, Slovenia, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. and then obviously Slovakia as well. So yeah, that is Slovakia. Well, I mean, there's probably plenty to see in Slovakia. I don't know anything about Eastern Europe or Central Europe at all. I must admit, like, I know it exists, and I know that there's like a little bit of history to it, but I don't know like any of the sites or anything like that. Repairing my truck once again. Let me just confirm the map there's, because if there's, yeah, even from Bratislava, like the next places like Budapest, Graz, Banska Bystrica, and Brno, and that's just a bit far for me. So I'm just going to end the stream here. Thank you so much to all of the individuals who have shown up in chat. Thank you so much for chatting in the chat. I really do appreciate it. It helps out the channel a lot. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to put out content. I hope to put out my Vatican City video this week. Even though I did that last week, I'll try to do it this week. And so yeah, thank you so much for stopping in. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that chatted. Have yourself a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening, and I hope to see you again soon, whether whether you run a live stream and I come in, or I stream again. I'm also on Discord, but I don't have any links to that posted because I'm an unintelligent person when it comes to YouTube. Maybe I will include a link one of these days into the description where you can, come chat with me on Discord. But if you're on Discord already and you know where I am, then feel free to say hello. I'm on actually I'm on Great Canadian Guy's Discord, and he was in chat. So if you click on his name and go to his channel, there should be a Discord link either in one of his videos or in the actual channel itself, and then you can reach me through there. And yeah, other than that, have yourself a wonderful day. Peace.